is going on, guys? It's your boy Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you once again with some more Totally Stream Wrestling 2020. It is Sunday, week 3 of October 1997. We are getting close. We are getting close to the No Mercy pay-per-view. We're in front of 4,551 people in the Ector County Coliseum here in the good old southeast. I forgot where it's located at. But anyway, in a pre-show matchup that had terrible wrestling and 96 crowd heat, Fit Finley went out and beat the living fuck out of Brooklyn Brawler in 105 pipe and beat him by pinfall with an Emerald Fusion. The match got a 47. Fit Finley with a 57. Pretty good. Pretty good. He's getting where I want him to get. Brooklyn Brawler got a 28. Announcing and color commentary gave the match boost. The match got a 47. We move on to our pre-show main event, which is Lance Storm taking on John Cronus in a pre-show match that had decent wrestling, but not that much way of heat. Lance Storm defeats John Cronus by submission with a single leg crab or the Canadian Maple Leaf. Lance Storm with a 63. Not bad, Lance Storm. Getting there, getting there. John Cronus with a 47. Match got a 59. Good stuff here on Sunday Night Heat. We're going to go ahead and start the show. And we start the show, and Bomb's Music Hits, also known as, formerly known as Adam Bomb. Bomb's music hits, and he comes out to the ring, and all of a sudden, the Godfather's music hits. And the Godfather comes out with his hoes. Hoe number 1, hoe number 2, and hoe number 3. If y'all are wrestling fans, y'all know who these beautiful women are. But tonight they are playing the roles of the hoes. We called them up from our developmental to give them to get them some TV time. And the Godfather comes out with his hoes, and he looks at Bomb and he goes, "Bomb, now he goes, I know that you haven't had your way of luck here lately, and everything's kind of been going bad for you, but I'm going to change your luck around. I know that me and you are supposed to have a match tonight to open up Sunday Night Heat, and I'll tell you something. I want to ask you one thing. Do you love hoes? Matter of fact, I'm not asking if you love hoes. I know you love hoes. So tonight, it would be a delight if I can give you one of these fine hoes that you want. 2 of these hoes, or maybe even all 3 of these hoes, if you let me beat you here tonight." Now the Bomb's just standing there, and he kind of rubs his shin, and you know the women are rubbing all over themselves and everything, and looking sexy, and everything like that. You know, they got their skimpy little clothing on and everything, and Bomb's kind of looking at him, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, you know, oh yeah." And so Godfather's just like, "I see you eyeing my hoes. Now I'll tell you, what's it gonna be? A night with these hoes, or a night with the Godfather in this ring? Choice is yours. We can either do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way." Bomb's just like, "You know, Godfather, I think we gonna do this the easy way." He goes, "I'll take all 3 of those hoes." He's just like, "So ring that bell, I'll lay down for you, and then these hoes are gonna lay down for me, if you know what I'm saying." The Godfather, he's just like, "Let's get it on then. Ring that bell." They ring the bell. In less than 52 seconds, the whole segment took about a minute, right? The Godfather, you know, he puts Bomb lays down, and Godfather kind of just like puts his foot on him. Ref kind of looks, counts to 3, and that's the end of the match. Godfather doesn't win with the Death Valley Driver, which is one of my favorite wrestling moves, by the way. But Godfather with a 50 and Bomb with a 48. The match got a 32. I wasn't expecting anything out of this. This was supposed to advance the Ho Train storyline, but announcer color commentator gave the match a boost, and the crowd wasn't interested. Didn't like what was going on here, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's go on to the next segment here. So the Godfather picks up a win. He uses his hose to help him pick up an easy win and gain him a little bit of momentum against Bomb here tonight. We're going to move on to the next segment. And it is Jerry the King Lawler and Brian Lawler backstage. And Jerry the King Lawler, he's standing there and goes, I know last week, Jushin Thunder Liger, I know last week you thought you picked up a big win. You thought you had it made in the shade. Well, I'll tell you something. Here tonight, you ain't going to win. So whoever you got, like they're already in the ring. I apologize. They're already in the ring. He was like, so whoever you have as your tag team partner can come on down here. And so the King and the Prince of Wrestling can show them what real talent looks like instead of these stupid hillbilly hicks and whatever damn town we're in here tonight. And the crowd boos and everything like that. He's like, so you get it on down here. And Jushin Thunder Liger's music hits. And he comes down. Right? And he stands there and Jerry the King Lawler's like, so, who do you have? Who's your tag team partner tonight? And all of a sudden you hear this music that y'all haven't heard any before. And it goes, stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. And about that had decent wrestling and didn't have much weight. Jushin Thunder Liger and the Hurricane beat Brian Lawler and Jerry the King Lawler when Jushin Thunder Liger pinned Brian Lawler with a sheer drop brainbuster. The Hurricane was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. I mean, he got a 44. That's pretty good. And they have great chemistry when teaming together, which I already knew that due to our house shows. I teamed them up to see. I got some ideas for them as a tag team to see. The Hurricane with a 44, Jerry the King Lawler with a 67, not bad. Brian Lawler with a 57, not bad. Hurricane with a 44, he still got time to grow. And Liger with a 65, not bad at all. Liger and the Hurricane have great chemistry teaming together, which I found that out doing house shows. We are going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. So the tag team of Jushin Thunder Liger and the Hurricane. Never seen this guy here. Who is this Hurricane guy? We will have to find out more about him real soon. It looks like he's kind of like a superhero. Kind of like Jushin Thunder Liger. Kind of like a superhero type character. But we're going to have to see. We're going to move on to the next segment here tonight. And we go to commercial and we come back and it's Mark Merrow. And he's backstage, and it was like earlier tonight, type thing, and the announcers are talking about it. And Mark Merrow, he's coming to the arena, and a fan walks up and goes, can I get your autograph? Can I get your autograph? Mark Merrow's like, oh, certainly. He's like, what? Not you. Her, Sable. Oh, yeah, can I get your autograph? And Mark Merrow's just like, what? She doesn't even wrestle. Why do you want her autograph? He's like, look at her, man. She's beautiful. Golly, she's one sexy lady. Mark Merrow's like, God, he punches the guy in the face, and the guy's like laid out cold, and he's just like, all beat up and everything like that. And Mark Merrow's like, screw this crap. I'm out of here. Come on. And he grabs Sable and he leaves. And then we go to our matchup, and it is The Kid versus Steve Corino, who I have high hopes for. Love Steve Corino. Love ECW Steve Corino. Very underrated wrestler. And about that had decent wrestling and didn't have much way of heat. The Kid showed why he can work with anybody. He pulled off a 69. Nice. But he beat Steve Corino by submission, which I really didn't want that to happen. The Kid with a 77 in-ring performance. Not bad at all. And Steve Corino with a 43. Jim Cornette did some good ring work. As we know, Jim Cornette. Steve Corino is part of that Camp Cornette. Part of that Camp Cornette. We're going to move on to the next segment. Kid picking up a big win here tonight. Match got a 69. Nice. We're going to move on to the next segment. And it is Ass Dust. And they're backstage. And they're standing there. Goldust is trying to talk to Billy. And it's just like, look, last week didn't matter. You know, he's like, yeah, you lost to Devon. He's like, last week doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's put that in the past. He's like, the tag team of Ass Dust is the most popular tag team in the World Wrestling Federation. The fans love Ass Dust. And everybody wants more Ass Dust. They can't get enough of Ass Dust. He goes, they love the ass, they love the dust, they want more Ass Dust. And he goes, tonight, he's like, it's Goldust's turn to take on Bubba Ray Dudley. And now, Billy, I know that last week you said you wanted to do everything by yourself, so Goldust is going to do the same and do everything by himself here tonight. And once I beat Bubba Ray Dudley, I will show why Ass Dust is the best tag team. You know? He's like, that loss last week doesn't matter. We're going to put that behind us. And all of a sudden, you see Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley walk up with the WWF World Tag Team Championships around on their shoulders. And they go, what did I hear about you beating me here tonight? He goes, Goldust, you're living in a fantasy land. You see, me and my brother Devon, we don't live in a fictional made-up cartoon world. We grew up as brothers, we fight as brothers, and we're most likely going to die as brothers. And I just think it's funny that you keep saying that you're the most popular tag team in the World Wrestling Federation, but yet you can't beat us, the Dudley Boys. And I don't care what you got to say, and I sure in the hell don't care what you got to say. And he points to Billy Gunn. And he goes, this right here proves why we're the best tag team in the world today. And all of a sudden, you hear somebody go, what's this I hear about the best tag team in the world today? And then you hear somebody else goes, I don't know. I thought I heard somebody talking about us. Oh, look who it is. And Edge and Christian walk in the frame. And they're just like, best tag team in the world today? You obviously must be talking about Edge and Christian. And the Dudleys turn and look. And they're just like, didn't we beat you on Monday Night Raw? And Edge and Christian look at each other and they're just like, yeah, you did. You know, I will say that. You did beat us. And Bubba's just like, so that's what I thought. Back of the line. And Edge is like, well, hold on 1 second. You know, I talked to Shane McMahon and I talked to Vince McMahon and they were highly impressed with our match on Monday Night Raw. So, they figured, well, if Ass Dust can have an opportunity at the Tag Team Championships, then how come Edge and Christian can't have an opportunity at the Tag Team Championships? Bubba's just like, what are you hitting at? And Edge is like, well, you see, here's the thing. We got good news, and we got some bad news, and most people like hearing the bad news first before they hear the good news. But I'm going to give you the good news first. Tonight, Bubba, if you win your match in the main event, the Dudleys will not have to defend the tag team titles at the No Mercy pay-per-view. Bubba's like, that is some pretty good news, because I'm about to wipe the floor with Goldust. And Edge is like, well, see, that's the bad news. See, after we talked to Vince McMahon and him saying that how much he was impressed with our tag team match that we had on Monday against y'all, he figured, why not make tonight's main event a triple threat? With the winner getting a shot at your championships. Well, Bubba's just like, what do you mean? And just like, well, see, it's going to be me, you, and Goldust here, in a triple threat. If me or Goldust beat you, or beat each other, then we take you on at No Mercy pay-per-view. But if you can somehow win, you won't have to defend your championships. And Bubba kind of sits there for a minute, and he's just like, so the match is already booked, huh? Ed's just like, match is already on paper. Bubba's just like, come on, Devon, let's get out of here. And they do. Then Edge and Christian and Dust stare at each other, and Goldust is like, well, you sure did put yourself in a hard place. Edge is like, yeah, how so? Goldust is like, because I had a personal beef against the Dudleys, but now it seems like I'm going to have to take my anger out on you also. He's like, we'll see you in the ring. And Goldust, Chyna, and Billy Gunn walk by, and Edge and Christian stand there as we go to commercial. And we come back, and it is a Big Boss Man taking on Bob Holly in a hardcore matchup, Falls Count Anywhere matchup. And the Big Boss Man wins with an 18-12 by pinfall with a Bubba Slam. The match got a 63. Big Boss Man with a 65. And Bob Holly with a 58. Boss Man picks up the win. We move on to our next segment. And it is a sit-down interview with Ken Shamrock and It is a sit-down interview with Jim Ross interviewing Ken Shamrock. And Jim Ross is like, Ken, we know that you are away training for your big UFC debut. We know that you've been training extensively and everything like that, but your training had to come to a halt after you got attacked by one Dr. Death, Steve Williams. He goes, you requested this interview time, and they gave it to you. So I guess my question is, the bold claims that Dr. Death is saying that you claim to be the toughest man, the world's most dangerous man, but how can you be the world's most dangerous man when you getting beat up by Dr. Death all this time? And he keeps trying to talk. Ken Shamrock cuts him off. Shamrock's just like, look, Jim, Dr. Death thinks he's a tough man. Jim Ross is like, he believes he's tougher than a $2 Waffle House steak. Ken Shamrock laughs and he goes, it's funny. I don't come out here and boast and brag about how tough I am, how bad I am. I go out there and I prove it. I go out there and I beat people. Yeah, I win some. Yeah, I lose some. But there's not one fan in that arena, or one fan watching at home, who doesn't believe that Ken Shamrock isn't legit. And Dr. Death Steve Williams thinks he's legit, that he's a tough man, that he's a bad man, that he wants to brawl for it all. But let me tell you something. He wants to step in the ring with Ken Shamrock, then he has it. He wants to go one-on-one with Ken Shamrock, then he has it. He's like myself. He's a man of a very few words. And he lets old Dutch Martel talk for him. But I'm going to tell you this right now, Jim Ross. Once I get Dr. Death in that ring alone, he keeps saying that the era of death is upon us. He's going to find out how true that statement is when I get my hands on it. So he wants me in a match. He can meet me in a match next Sunday on Heat. Jim Ross was like, well, I'm sure Dr. Death is going to hear this, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Death is going to accept your challenge. He's like, well, thank you for this time, Ken Shamrock. Back to you, Michael Cole. At the announcer's desk, Michael Cole's like, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And the match this segment got a 74. Not bad. Era Def story advances and gains heat. That's the color commentary gave the match boost. Gave the segment a boost, not the match. But we're going to move on to the night's main event. I'm pretty sure it's the main event. Between Goldust, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Edge, with the winner getting a title shot at the No Mercy pay-per-view. And it is, and about that had good heat and decent reaction. They got a 70, not bad at all. Edge defeats Goldust and Bubba Ray Dudley when Edge pins Bubba Ray Dudley with the spear. Goldust carried the match in in-ring work. Goldust with a 79, Edge with a 68, and Bubba with a 67. The Awesomeness storyline advances and lost heat, sadly. Goldust and China have pretty good chemistry. The match got a 70. We move on to that. And after the match, Edge and Christian celebrate, and they go to the back. And after the match, Goldust is kind of in the ring. And Billy Gunn comes down, and he's standing there. And Goldust is standing there, and, Goldust is like, it's okay. Like, we'll win the next one. And Billy Gunn, he just kind of looks at Goldust and clocks Goldust in the face. And Goldust lays down, and China kind of stands there in shock. And Billy Gunn, he does the chop motion to Goldust. Right, and China kind of looks at him, and then he looks at China, and he does it to China, and he walks out. He walks out of the ring. He tells him to suck it, and he walks out of the ring. And the fans are starting to boo and everything like that. The Awesomeness storyline advances, and gains heat. Goldust looked good. Goldust did a good job, and that's color commentary match boost. Goldust benefited from having a hot catchphrase. This segment got a 95. We're going to go on to the next segment. Goldust, what is going on with Awesomeness? It's just the end of Awesomeness. Billy Gunn just attacked Goldust. Why did he attack Goldust? I don't know. I have no clue. Hopefully we can get some answers on Sunday Night Heat, or later on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. We're going to have to find out some more on that. But speaking of Raw is War, tomorrow night on Raw is War, we are going to have some big matchups here tonight. First and foremost, Vince McMahon. We have found out during this week that Vince McMahon has closed the deal between Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to compete at the No Mercy pay-per-view. We will have more information on that on Monday Night Raw. Vince McMahon is said to be making a huge announcement on that, but it seems like he has closed the deal between that matchup. Also, on Monday Night Raw, we are going to have a big main event as Owen Hart takes on Dude Love. Owen Hart is tired of Dude Love. Dude Love, as y'all seen, has made his big return and beat Owen Hart. Owen Hart is frustrated because Owen Hart pretty much was the #1 contender for the World Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Championship. And he pretty much had all the momentum in the world after beating Bret Hart. But all it took was Dude Love coming back and beating Owen Hart with a quick roll-up. And Owen Hart goes, no way. I'm not going to let that blemish my record. I'm going to beat Dude Love and send him away once and for all. Our big main event on Raw is War is going to be Owen Hart versus Dude Love. And the rivalry that gave us matches that I did not think, ratings that I did not think it was going to give us. The rivalry between Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. Kurt Angle issued that open challenge. And Rey Mysterio answered it and beat Kurt Angle 2 times in 1 week. Kurt Angle is furious. Kurt Angle is upset. As we've seen on SmackDown, he demanded that he has another match with Rey Mysterio. He wants another match. And Shane goes, well, I'll tell you what. If you can get a partner, and if Rey Mysterio can get a partner, then we're going to have ourselves a tag team match. He's like, I can't give you a one-on-one match, but we are going to have ourselves a tag team match between Kurt Angle and a partner of his choice versus Rey Mysterio and a partner of his choice. This segment got a 100. Please tune in to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is going to be jam-packed. We have a bunch of stuff going on the A shows, I should say. This Sunday, obviously, Sunday Night Heat's the B show, but the A shows of Raw is War and SmackDown have a lot going on. Tune into that. we're going to go ahead and finish the show. They still got an 84. Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. We have some big matches for Monday Night Raw. Raw is War. I can't wait to get to that and book that. Hall of Fame, Invader #1. Recently, wrestler is the new addition of the WWC Hall of Fame, and officially announced last night the 50-year-old was a key member of the promotion, and few would disagree of his induction. Let's see. Axe. I believe that's Axe. He retires. Hangs up his boot. Retires. And Moondog Rex retires. Johnny Mantel retires. Mae Young hangs up her boots. And Dusty Wolf is looking to go after being injured. We got some decisions. Hopefully nobody failed a drug test. And we have some stuff to take care of. My name is Dylan the Villain. Thank y'all for watching this episode of Sunday Night Heat. Like always, guys, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all for liking the videos. For those who do like the video, thank y'all for leaving a comment down below. It helps out the channel big time. I cannot stress how much that helps out. That gets us more eyes on the product and everything that I do, and all the hard work I put into all this helps us out a lot. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for showing love. It really motivates me and pushes me to keep going. If you are new to the channel and like what you see and love the sound of my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful voice, the subscribe icon will be over the Sunday Night Heat logo. I couldn't keep that going for much longer. I end up laughing at my corny jokes here. The subscribe icon will be over the Sunday Night Heat logo. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, please subscribe. It helps us out a lot. If you like this episode and want to go back and catch up on the previous episodes, that playlist will be right here. And on the right-hand side will be the previous episode of the TEW Stave. My name is Dylan the Villain, guys. And like we always say here at Pro Am Gaming, if you can't play with each other, do what I do and do what I'm doing right now and play with yourself. We'll see y'all on Raw is War.